bird singing to us this morning. Can you hear it? There's a beautiful bird singing to us this morning. When I work with soulmate clients through 6 months of Healing Journey Magic, we explore a 3-phase approach to bring total resolution to any implicit health challenge. And implicit health includes anything within the mind, the emotions, the habitual movement patterns of the body, feelings, sensations, responses, etc. And so that's mental health, emotional health, behavioral, habitual, or action patterned health. 3-phase approach is to understand the causality of the implicit health disruption, to transform that challenge, and then to create a brand new foundational layer for better implicit health moving forward. And so we're working directly with the wiring of the body-mind and the essence of consciousness. To explore the very first of those phases, which all kind of lead into each other, a big thing of what we explore, and this is all using work that I've cultivated over the past 5 years through my Implicit Revelations case study. You can find out more about my personal journey through the Becoming Known Through Implicit Revelations video series. The bird is outshining me right now. The bird is outshining me right now. The bird is being louder than I am. And in this process, there's 3 specific things we look at to understand the causality of the implicit health disruption. And that is navigation, regulation, and attachment needs. And we explore each of those and their interactions with each other. Navigation primarily comes from unconscious memories. Regulation works with all the nervous systems, the brain waves, brain hemispheric balance, and connectivity. And then attachment needs are the well-being of how seen and loved and safe and secure and supported and connected and respected and embraced the body-mind and parts of consciousness flowing through the body-mind have overall felt throughout your lifetime of experiences, and how that data is stored in the body-mind now and affecting consciousness now. And so to explore navigation, we're especially looking at implicit emotional and procedural memories. Unconscious memories that carry patterns of feeling and moving. And then when we look at regulation, we're specifically assessing the autonomic nervous system through a spectrum I've created that ranges from 1 to 15, with regulation being in the middle of the spectrum. And this is something that stems from the polyvagal theory and references the neurobiological social engagement system, or the neuroscience of psychology, which is one of the ideas that I share in my free introductory playbook for my Implicit Revelations case study. And then from that assessment, we're able to also evaluate the overall well-being and the approximated regulatory status of other systems, including brain waves, brain hemispheric balance, circadian rhythms, cranial nerve functionality, hormones, neurotransmitters, the endocrine system, digestion, respiration, and so much more. And then we look at attachment needs and the well-being of 22 specific internal needs throughout 4 distinct attachment systems. And this references all original concepts I've created through my Implicit Revelations case study, referencing thesis number 1 of my case study and the liberated consciousness diagram. And then we look at the connection between all 3 of these. Is the navigation affecting regulation? A lot of times, projection of unconscious, disintegrated memory data disrupts regulation, even if the regulation is otherwise doing pretty well. And vice versa. If there's a disruption in regulation, then even if the unconscious memories have positive navigational patterns, they might have disruptions in their activity because of the dysregulation. And this utilizes my original navigation, regulation, correlation method, another concept developed through my Implicit Revelations case study. And then we look at the connection between navigation and regulation and attachment needs. They both connect with attachment needs. And this, again, references one of my earlier thesis statements in the Implicit Revelations case study. So definitely check out that free introductory playbook that goes through a lot of these concepts and can really serve as a launchpad guide to understanding and resolving any type of implicit health challenge. And so then we're looking at, okay, the unconscious memories are stored in relation with the well-being of attachment needs. And if attachment needs aren't met, then that's why there's these patterns in emotional and procedural memories that have feelings and movements that are causing an implicit health challenge or a disruption of implicit well-being. And we also look at the regulation. If the body-mind hasn't felt safe and secure and seen and loved and celebrated and supported and connected and respected and embraced, then there are regulatory protocols in the body-mind that can disrupt implicit well-being. And so we're looking at navigation, especially from unconscious memories. We're looking at regulation, starting with the autonomic nervous system and then exploring other systems through a spectrum of evaluation that I've created through my research that was originally founded in neuroscience and then branched into my own discoveries. And we're looking at the connection between navigation and regulation, utilizing the navigation regulation correlation method. And then we're looking at attachment well-being on its own, and then the relationship between navigation or unconscious memories and attachment needs, and the connection between regulatory protocols and regulation and these attachment needs. And through that, we're looking at these three things individually and then the way that they're all connected. And through that, we can discover the true underlying cause of the implicit health challenge. And the beautiful part about this is we don't need to look at past experiences. Yes, there were past experiences that created the navigational patterns that exist now. Yes, there were past experiences that affected the regulatory protocols that exist right now. Yes, there were past experiences that created a felt sense or a lack thereof of attachment need fulfillment or attachment well-being, the satiation of internal needs for the body-mind that affect experiences of consciousness. But through these methods and modalities and concepts and techniques and journeys and practices, we don't need to look at the past experiences. And this can be really healing on its own because a lot of times when there's an implicit health challenge or a disruption of, mental health or emotional health, a lot of times we might look at the surface level and be like, okay, there's something going wrong in my mind. Let me look at past experiences that affected the way that my mind now works. And that's just looking at very surface level stuff that can provoke more pain because you're looking at the problem and you're looking at experiences that maybe weren't so good. And so then you're just exacerbating the problem and exacerbating the past pains. And you're not actually getting to any resolution. And so we don't need to look at any past experiences. We can if you want to, and if it's beneficial for this healing journey in a way that serves and supports you. But these techniques are so profoundly precise. We don't need to look at any past experiences to explore the navigation, regulation, and attachment well-being that's affecting body-mind activity and implicit health right here, right now. And so through this process, we don't need to look at those past experiences. We don't need to just look at the surface clues. We use that as a starting point to understand deeper realities, but we're not looking at the experiences that you don't like in order to change them. We're looking at the wiring in the body-mind that's causing them to re-sculpt that wiring and shift your experience from a deeper level. Okay, and so through the 6 months of Healing Journey Magic or Implicit Resolution, resolving an implicit health challenge, there's a 3-phase approach that I use. The first is to understand, that sun came out. It was all clouds. The first is to understand the implicit health challenge and what's actually causing it. Not the past experiences, not the surface clues of what you're encountering now, but the actual cause of it within the wiring of the brain and the body. And the second is to transform that wiring in the brain and the body. And that is done through fun, easy, simple, enjoyable practices every day or every week, but ideally every day. It really varies per person though. what is actually happening and what is the best route to transform it. But most commonly, most frequently, there's some form of a daily practice. And it's fun and it's gentle and it's easy and it's rewarding and it's playful and it's light and it's loving and it's compassionate and it's sculpted personally to fit you, exactly who you are and where you're at, and to directly address the underlying cause in the brain-body wiring of that specific implicit health challenge or disruption of implicit well-being. And so it's very personalized, very custom tailored, very individually, intimately sculpted for you. And this is great too because there's some individuals that don't do so well with daily practices. They have a hard time sticking with them, or showing up for something that's like, I know I should, I know I need to, but I can't do it. And that is also actually coming from the navigation of the body mind. And so we work with that. We work through that. We work with the structures that exist. We don't work against them. It's not like, I know it's hard, but you got to do it anyway. It's not like that. It's like, okay, so that approach doesn't work. Let's see what other tools we have in the toolbox. Let's see what other approaches we have to try. Let's see what other, play toys we have to work with here. And so it's very custom tailored. And then, there's some individuals that work really well with that. And it's like, okay, yes, I just need to know exactly what to do. And I'm there. I just don't know what to do. But once I know what to do, I'm there and I'm all in and I show up. And, then there might be a practice that's, maybe 5 or 10 minutes or 20 or 30 minutes. Or for some individuals, not always, but occasionally there might be a 2-hour or 3-hour practice. And that might be like once a week instead of every day. Okay, so the first is to understand the true cause of what's happening. The second is to transform that cause. And so we use some kind of daily practice, and I'll talk more about that later. But we use some kind of consistent practice. But it's something that has two things. One, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's satisfying. It feels good to show up for. It's not some grueling therapeutic work that's like, oh God, I have to show up for this. It's the whole point of it is to be enjoyable, but it's sculpted in a way that it specifically addresses the brain-body wiring that's causing the implicit health challenge. So it's something you look forward to showing up for, and it's fun and loving and compassionate and kind and feels good to be present for. And there might be some challenges, but that's just because you're trying something new. It's not because it's hard and terrible and whatnot, okay? So there might be some challenges just because you're doing something new. If we do anything new, it's like, oh my God, I've never done this before. Here we go, But it's something that feels good to show up for. But it's a practice that's sculpted to specifically address that brain-body wiring and transform it, rewrite it, resculpt it, rewire it. But you're not having to look at the implicit health challenge or the clues or the symptoms of that, and you're not having to look at any past experiences that might have contributed to it. Okay, and then the third is to sculpt a new foundation for implicit health. We actually sculpt a new layer of navigation in the body-mind. We sculpt a new layer of regulatory protocols in the body-mind. We sculpt a new layer of unconscious emotional and procedural memories in the body-mind, in the deepest layers of the body-mind. We sculpt a new layer of attachment well-being. And in that process, we're reconnecting and reunifying with so many parts of the self who have been struggling beyond awareness for a very long time. And to do that very first step, to understand, we're looking at navigation, including unconscious memories. We're looking at regulation, starting with an assessment of autonomic nervous system along a spectrum of 1 to 15 numbers that each describe a certain regulatory state within 5 distinct regulatory states, referencing the polyvagal theory. And from that assessment, we also explore a general assessment of other regulatory protocols that might be affecting brainwaves, brain hemispheric balance, etc. And then we look at navigation, regulation, correlation method and how these two realities are affecting each other. And then we look at attachment well-being and the well-being of 22 specific internal needs throughout 4 distinct attachment systems using original concepts that I've spent years developing and perfecting, and they are life-changing and their accuracy never fails. It is profound and astounding beyond what my mind can even comprehend. Their precision and their accuracy continues to astound and amaze. And then we look at the well-being of attachment systems and how that's affecting navigation and the wiring of unconscious memories, and how it's affecting regulatory protocols in these states of activity. And then we have the neuroscientific evidence of what's actually happening in the brain body wiring or in the structures of the body mind that are causing the implicit health challenge, based on the data that exists right here, right now, not based on past experiences that affected it. You can explore more about this through my free introductory playbook, 6 Months into Healing Journey MagiiicK, Implicit Resolution. And whether you connect with me through that specific 6-month journey, or you want to just dive into a one-time sacred soul session instead of going through the full journey. Maybe you're already on a journey and you would just like a little taste test into some of these insights to support and serve the journey that you're already on. Or whether you're not inspired to connect with me at this time, but you maybe use these insights to serve and support your journey in your own way, or maybe even serve and support the journey of somebody you know. If you know someone who's experiencing an implicit health challenge, anything in their mind, their thoughts, their dialogue, their perceptions, their emotions, their feelings, their somatic sensations or somatic responses, their verbal speech abilities or nonverbal communicative cues or responses and action patterns, habits, behaviors, decision-making tendencies or abilities, whether this has a description or not, whether it falls into something that is categorized like anxiety, insomnia, depression, psychosis, dissociation, or not, whether it's just this abstract thing that's kind of just not making life as good as it could be. Okay, so whether you are experiencing that or whether you know someone who is, I would love for these insights to just serve and support you in whatever way possible. And you can dive more into my free libraries, free downloads and gifts, and free introductory playbooks, including over 100 pages that share amazing, life-changing work from my Implicit Revelations case study, including a documentary series. So you can either read through the text that shares the summary highlight points of it, or you can watch through the video series and watch and listen to it, or both, and you can learn so much about these realities of implicit health in a brand new way. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. And if you do feel inspired to connect with me, I would be absolutely honored to serve and support your journey. The route of implicit health is a beautiful journey, but if we don't understand the hidden inner realities, it doesn't feel very beautiful. And so we're here to bring light to this beauty of the inner realities of the body, mind, and restore it to its natural state of ease and well-being. And the beautiful part about the specific healing route that I serve as a guide through is that it's healing at a soul level. We're not just working with brain-body wiring. We're not just working with these experiences that we want to transform. We're not just working with the surface layer of a state of health in the human experience. We're working with aspects of the soul at a soul level. The soul is going through a challenge in the human form so that it can transmute it. When the soul transmutes a challenge in the human form on an individual level, it ripples out and positively benefits and impacts all of humanity because we are all connected. We are all connected. And so this is healing at a soul level. The soul is going through a challenge in the individuated human form for a reason that is quantum and beyond conceptualizations of an individual momentary journey. And we work with that quantum layer in subtle ways throughout this process. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Explore all my other work and use this information to serve your journey. We are here to transmute these challenges and allow the soul to expand into greater layers and levels and depths and heights of loving liberation.